Okay, so today we're going to talk about different types of spirits and entities. Skinwalkers and shadow people are a whole nother ball game, so we'll discuss them at a later date. But for now, I'm going to start with the less aggressive and work my way up. So your average Joe kind of spirit is someone that passes over and goes to where they need to go. And generally, when that happens, it means they don't have any business here anymore. And sometimes there's very few of us that will encounter our loved ones after death. And sometimes that can be to do with a situation you're facing in life if you're not coping, or it could be as straightforward as, you can't get over their death. So when they do visit, sometimes it's for that closure to say, I'm okay, you don't have to worry anymore, I'm okay over here. And unfortunately, that's something we all wish we could experience, but we can't. It's almost like a given right. Obviously, things are different on the other side. So generally speaking, once your loved one does go, if they aren't around, or, they were quite content before they passed away, then it's more than likely that you aren't going to see them necessarily. Like I say, in those rare odd few cases. So, okay, the next would be spirits that are in their death states. What this means is that they literally passed away very suddenly, and it could be a traumatic death. So they are stuck in their death state. So, for example, if I was to commit suicide, and then I didn't know where I was, and it's literally, they are lost souls walking. They don't understand. So what some may perceive to be aggression is actually not. It's them trying to get your attention to try and understand. And sometimes for these death state spirits, that all they need is closure, like we do in everyday life. So it's a simple thing again of giving them closure and saying, I'm sorry, but you are passed away and you're okay to go. So then from there, obviously, we know, a lot of you will know God's angels. And we're talking, like, for example, Archangel Michael, which he is the angel of strength. So each angel carries its own responsibilities. Supposedly, when we're born, we're each given a guardian angel. And, like, there are other angels like Gabriel, Raphael, and so on and so forth. Like I say, they each carry their own qualities, specifically. And generally, you could say that they're sort of God's warriors for kind of really dark situations, or clarification almost. It's very rare that one will see an angel. There isn't many people that I know that have encountered angels, but the one angel that most think is actually on Lucifer's side, which is actually not, from God's side, is the angel of death. Now, a lot associate it with it being a dark force, but generally speaking, it's actually not. It's from God's side, and you're more than likely going to see the angel of death than you are, Archangel Raphael or Michael or what have you. Because the angel of death, obviously, death is something that happens every day. When someone is dying, the angel of death is there to guide them once they've crossed over, to take them to their destination. And that's exactly what the angel of death does. Now, there's been a good few encounters of the angel of death. Like I say, that is more of a common angel. If you're going to see any angel, it will be the angel of death, because of how, kind of death is. So, when people have encountered the angel of death, they have seen a complete kind of black shadow, and wingspan is absolutely huge, will take over entire flat. They're actually huge, and they are pure black, but there's no distinguishable features. So there have been moments where people have heard it speak as well. And it's very kind of, almost like a God-ridden will of a voice, very masculine. There was a lady that did encounter the angel of death while she was in hospital watching her aunt die. And usually when the angel of death appears, like I say, they're literally awaiting that very moment to come take them to their destination. And they will be above their head on the bed. They'll be behind their head, 9 times out of 10. And they will appear as a complete blacked out, figure. But the one incident where a woman did actually not just see it but hear it, at the time obviously she was frightened, so she said, "What are you?" And he merely said, "I am the angel of death. I've come to take your aunt to where she needs to go." And then once kind of she'd heard him speak, she was okay, because she knew there was guidance there. She knew that the angel of death was there to take her aunt to where she needed to go. And that's purely what the angel of death is. So it isn't anything to do with Lucifer. Like I say, it's God's will there again. So from there we will go to, I guess, demonic entities. Now there are many different types of demons. Just like there are angels, there are demons that carry specific purposes, personality traits. They are all different. No one is the same. So let me give you a few examples. One of them is called Santa Mer, and she is a female demon entity, and she kind of is... She deals with drugs. So everything that surrounds drugs, like addiction, the crime, to do with gangs and drugs and things like that, she's behind it. And obviously, a lot of people don't realise, they think that a demon is a demon. But again, a demon is actually, it isn't necessarily Lucifer himself. It's actually Lucifer's minions, or his warriors, if you will. So I'll give you another example of an entity. Some of you may have heard of this one, and this one's called Six. But it's actually not one individual entity. If you know anything about it, generally when it has presented itself, it said, "I am Six." And basically what it is 6 different demonic entities in one formation. So it's a lot more powerful than the one individual demonic entity that we face. It's 6. Ironically, that's the number for Lucifer. So that should tell you and give you an idea of just how powerful and dangerous 6 can be. 6 has come up in a good few cases here and there. It isn't an easy one to get rid of, as it's 6. So, for example, let me give you another example. If anybody's seen Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage, where he's fighting Legion at the end of the film. Now, he says, "We are Legion." And what that means is we are many. We are more than one. So they're all tormented, dark entities which are in one formation, as you see in the film. And that's what Legion is. And it's the same as 6. It's more than one, or many more than 6. So what you're actually encountering is not just one, two, you know what I mean? You're encountering a whole vast amount of dark entities with different, you know, kind of attributes. I'll give you another one, quite a common one, which a lot of you will associate with sleep paralysis, is the succubi. Female demon. She also can be known as the Old Hag. And she generally, whilst you're in sleep paralysis, she will suck the soul from you. And also, part of her kind of characteristics lie in the sexual nature as well. So again, like I say, each to their own. Same with God's angels, Lucifer's demons, minions, what have you. They're all different. No one is the same. So that's why when possessions do take place, they generally, if you can find out the name of the entity, that will give you the ability to actually forbid this demonic entity from completely taking over and possessing you or whatever it is. Generally, you find the name of the entity and you can call it out because that's its power, its name. You not knowing what it is gives them more power. You being afraid of the unknown gives them more power. That is one thing. It's all about mind over matter with things like this. And what they'll do is they'll gradually break you down, because they can go inside your head and they can figure out what your fears are. So whatever you fear will be what they will present you with in order to get what they need from you. And that's one thing that I have learned over time and through all the things that I've seen, all the things that I've researched. I'll cut it and I'll leave it at that for today. Like I say, skinwalkers and shadow people are a whole nother thing. But that is just to give you a brief description of the general kind of entities, spirits that, are becoming more well known these days anyway. And I hope that helps.